Hello, welcome to Hansar classes. I am Dr. T.U. Khan, Associate Professor and Head Department of Botany, Sri Krishna Sharda College, Hailakandi. Welcome you all in my class. I would like to deliver a lecture on cell biology, and the class on cell biology. It is first year syllabus. In HS first year, we have there is a cell biology, and in cell biology, we would like to discuss today what is cell, the structure of the cell, different types of cell. In these three questions, I would like to answer all the different aspects of the cell. Now, what is cell biology? Cell, the study of cell is called cell biology. As you know that every living individual from bacteria to elephants, all living organisms are made up of cell or a single cell or a multiple cells. So the discovery of cell is a remarkable discovery in the history of science as because the first living structure of a cell has been observed by Anton von Leeuwenhoek by his own microscope. But as suddenly this discovery has not been completed until and unless with a specific structure. That structure has been discovered by Robert Hooke in the year 1666. Robert Hooke in the that is Robert Hooke in the year 1666 discovered the cell by his own microscope from the dry cork tissue. But the discovery of cell is not completed as because the entire structure of the cell has not been completely that is explained by the scientist. So, with the discovery of the cell, the cell has revolutionized the structure of cell biology, and we are able to know the different until and unless we know the internal structure of the cell, we cannot completely say it is a cell. So, in 1831, Robert Brown discovered the nucleus. Robert Brown discovered nucleus within the cell. So this cell is the structure has been discovered much after the discovery of the cell by the Robert Hooke, and this cell is very important to know the structure of a living organisms. Dutrocher, another scientist, Dutrocher, who stated that all living body made up of cells, and the tissue of all living body made up of cells. So, what is tissue? Tissue considered as a collection of cells. You will find these cells are made up of tissue, and tissue ultimately form the tissue system, and from tissue system to the organ, then organ to organ systems. I would like to draw what the importance of the exam. You will find the cells forms the, this is called tissue, and then tissue form the tissue system, tissue system form the organ form the organ system, organ system form the individual, just called the individual. Then individual, that is, will find the population. You will find the population. Then you can form the community. The community. Then you can form the ecosystem. So this is what. Then you will find the biosphere. That is called the ecosystem. Then you will find the biosphere. This is the structure of the all. So this is how the entire circle of life has been started from cells. Then, and the cells are made up of different types of molecules. You will find two different types of molecules, some micromolecules and some macromolecules. These micromolecules and macromolecules together form this cell, and these molecules are called biomolecules, as because these are biological and they are responsible for a structure of a living structure. That structure is considered as the cell, and the cell is made up of with these different types of molecules. Thereafter we can discuss about the different components of cell. Now you see, in the year 1835, Dujardin, who stated that living cells contain some liquid substance, but he has not been able to name the living substance. In the year 1839, Purkinje, who coined the term protoplasm, and protoplasm is the living substance which is found inside the cell. So chronologically, if you would like to see from Robert Hooke to Robert Brown, then Dujardin, Nitrogen, Parkinji, there is one after another the discovery is continuously going on. In the year, there is in 1839, it's Youngest Leiden and Tichuan proposed cell theory. The cell theory is the important theory which explains the different components of the cell. Now there are three important objectives for three important characteristics of the cell theory. One is called each and every living organisms are made up of cell, and the other and are the products of cells and are the products of cells. Number two, cells are the functional unit of life. And number three, the important characteristics of cell theory. Every cell originates from a living. There is a pre-existing structure. Every cell originates from pre-existing cell structure. So these are the three important aspects of the cell theory. Now, based on this cell theory, different propositions has been come, and a number of there is a scientist working on the cell theory. We find that each and every living body is made up of a cell. The concept has been continuously improving over the period of times. Now, what is considered as the structure of the cell. Now I would like to discuss much about the structure of the cell. So if you would like to say structure of the cell, we will find that there are two different types of cells based on their origin. One is called prokaryotic cell, another one is called eukaryotic cell. This is two types of cells: prokaryotic cell. There is a prokaryotic cell, karyotic cell, and eukaryotic cell. Based on their origin, eukaryotic cell. Now, what are these? Prokaryotic cells. Pro means primitive, karyon means nucleus, and cell means cells, a living structure. Where inside a living structure you will find a primitive type of cell. Now, what is the primitive type of cell? What is the characteristics of the primitive type of cell? That means a cell which is not completed or with all its component. So, most important component is the nucleus. Where you will not find a true nucleus, you will find there is without a nuclear membrane, a structure, a nucleoid, or there is a primitive type of nucleus you will find which lacks nuclear membrane or other components. So that type of nucleus is called the prokaryon, or it is called primitive nucleus. So these type of nucleus are found generally. This type of cells are found in bacteria, cyanobacteria. Then you will find primitive organisms. So this type of you will find this type of cells are there in this type of organisms. Generally, monorans. It's called bacterians or cyanobacteria. This type of organisms are made up of single cells and they are prokaryotic in nature. In eukaryotic cells, all higher living plants and higher living animals are considered as eukaryotic organisms, and where you will find a complete development of a cell which contains all the important structures of the cell. Say a true nucleus is there. All components like other living components of the cells are also available in this type of cells. In animal cell, you will find a true nucleus is there. You will find protoplasm is there. You will find that protoplasm is divided into two parts, called ectoplasm and endoplasm. And there is a here in protoplasm is divided into two parts. One is called cytoplasm. Another one is called nucleoplasm. So in nucleoplasm, you will find the nucleus is located inside the nucleus, and inside the living materials inside the nucleus is called nucleoplasm. And the living substance which is found inside the cell minus the nucleus is called the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm again divided into two parts, ectoplasm and endoplasm. In endoplasm, all the other components of the cells are found. Say the important there is components like mitochondria. Then you will find Golgi body. There is Golgi body. Then you will find it is called in endoplasmic reticulum. Then you will find in ribosomes, then lysosomes. All these structures, all the structures of the cells are found in the endoplasm. Now, if there is a differentiation between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell, the differences are in prokaryotic cell you will find lack of true nucleus. Then you will not find this all cells cell, there is components, cell, there is a cellular organelles which are found in any eukaryotic cell. Say mitochondria, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, these are absent in there is prokaryotic cell, but these things are present in eukaryotic cell. In there is prokaryotic cell, you will find 70s type of ribosomes. But in eukaryotic cell, you will find 80s type of ribosomes. Prokaryotic cells are unicellular, there is a single cell. Eukaryotic cells are multicellular, or the structure is very well defined structure. And the prokaryotic cells are there is a much smaller in size than the eukaryotic cell. And prokaryotic cells generally divides by the method of there is some fragmentation or by budding or by some other methods. But eukaryotic cells divides by mitosis, meiotic cell division. These eukaryotic cells are again found in two different types: mitotic cells and germ cells. So that I will explain later. So that all about the prokaryotic and the eukaryotic cells. But these are the main differences between the prokaryotic and the eukaryotic cell. After discussing the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell, now we have to discuss about the structure of cell. Now, a prokaryotic cell, what is the structure of the prokaryotic cell? I have drawn a structure of a bacterial cell because bacteria is a prokaryotic cell. Now, in this bacteria, you will find it. This is the structure. This is the living structure of the cell, and this is the membrane. Then inside the membrane, you will find the nucleus. There is this nucleus. As because in prokaryotic cell there is no true nucleus, so this is considered as the DNA molecules. This is called the DNA molecules. Then you will find lysosome, which is called the lysosome. This is called lysosome. These are called the pili. This pili with the help of which they remain attached with the other structure during the genetic recombination process. And these are the chromatophores. These are the chromatophores. Chromatophores found in bacteria. This is the ribosomes. Ribosomes is the liquid substance. This is what we call the cell membrane. We call the cell membrane. This is cytoplasm. This is cytoplasm. And these are chromatophores. This is ribosome. These are called the ribosomes. So this is the structure of a very simple structure of the cell. And this structure is called the prokaryotic cell, because they do not show any streaming movement. So you know, these type of cells are found in bacteria, and there is cyanobacteria, and there is some primitive organisms. So this type of cells are called the prokaryotic cell. Now, what is the difference between the structure in prokaryotic and the eukaryotic cell? This is eukaryotic cell. This is plant cell. This is animal cell. Now, what are the basic differences between these two? I have made differences earlier. Now, the structural component. Now, this is called the animal cell. It is a eukaryotic cell. This is the cell membrane. This is called cell membrane. This is called cell membrane. Then you will find that this is called, there is a cytoplasm. This is called the cytoplasm. This is nucleus. This is nucleus. The nucleus has four components. This is called nuclear membrane. Then you will find nucleoplasm. Then it is called the nucleolus. Then you will find the nuclear material, which is called the chromatin material. These four components are there, which and there is a if you call this is called chromatin material, and this is called chromatin material. Or you can call the chromosome later. Chromatin material. This is the nucleolus. This is called nucleolus. This is called the nucleoplasm. This is called the nucleoplasm. And this is nuclear core. This is nuclear core. This is the structure of the nucleus. And in eukaryotic cell, particularly in animal cell, nucleus is located in the center of the cell. Now, from this nuclear membrane, we will find two important structures. One is called the endoplasmic reticulum. This is called endoplasmic reticulum. This is also endoplasmic reticulum. This is rough called endoplasmic reticulum. Rough in the sense it contains the ribosome on the surface of endoplasmic reticulum. That's why it is called RER in short, or rough endoplasmic reticulum. And this is called smooth endoplasmic reticulum, or in short it is called SER. So we can put it here. It is called SER, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. This is called rough endoplasmic reticulum, or RER. Besides that, this is called Golgi complex. Golgi complex in animal cell, the eukaryotic cell structure. This is called mitochondria. This is called mitochondria. This is one of the. This is called powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria is an important structure. It is double membrane bound structure. Then you will find this is called lysosome. In animal cell you will find the lysosome. This is called lysosome. Then you will find this is called vacuole. These are called vacuole. Vacuole, small vacuoles are found in animal cell. Sometimes it is absent. Sometimes you will find they are present also. Besides these are called ribosomes. You will find the ribosomes. These are the structures. Ribosomes. So these are the different structural components, that is cellular organelles, which are found inside the animal cell. Now in plant cell, what is the basic difference between plant cell and animal cell? In plant cell, you will find first what is called cell wall, which is absent in animal cell. Cell wall is present in plant cell. Cell wall is absent in animal cell. Cell membranes are present in both the cell. You will find the Golgi complex, which is found in plant cell, also in animal cells, but in plant cells it is called dictyosome. It is called dictyosome, and in plant cell you will find nucleus in the peripheral region, but in animal cell it is found in the central region. Then you will find the chloroplast. Chloroplast, which is found in plant cell only, which is absent in animal cell. Chloroplast, and there is called chloroplast, which is found in plant cell, and it is absent in animal cell. You will find large vacuoles. Large size vacuoles. This is called this vacuole, large vacuole. These are found in plant cell vacuole. Vacuole, which is found in plant cell, and generally most of the part of the plant cell has been occupied by the vacuoles, and these vacuoles are very small, either absent and very small in there is animal cell. And mitochondria, this is called mitochondria. Then you will find a rough endoplasmic reticulum. You will find smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Then you will find the ribosomes, which are also found in animal cell. Ribosome. And what is called the chloroplast. Chloroplast I have already mentioned. So this is the important structure. And centrosome. Centrosome is found in animal cell. Centrosome is found in animal cell. This is called centrosome. This is called centrosome, which is found in animal cell. This centrosome is absent in plant cell. So this is the basic difference between the plant cell and the animal cell. So again, there is a giving you the differences between the plant cell and animal cell. In plant cell you will find cell wall, which is absent in animal cells. In plant cells you will find in nucleus in the peripheral region. In animal cell it is central region. In plant cell you will find large vacuole, which is not found, or if it is found, it is very small in animal cell. The vacuoles are found in plant cell, and there is a chloroplast is found in plant cell. Chloroplast is absent in animal cell. Then you will find them. It is called centrosome, which is absent in plant cell, which is present in animal cell. So these are the basic differences between the plant cell and the animal cell. Plant cell can perform photosynthesis, animal cell cannot perform photosynthesis. So these are the basic differences between the plant cell and animal cell. After the whole, in the next class, I will discuss about the function of the cell and different components of the cell. Component of the cells means cell organelles like mitochondria, like Golgi bodies, like endoplasmic reticulum, like there is lysosomes, chloroplast, ribosomes, then microfilaments, and other components of the cell. But today, up to till now, this has been the description which have these descriptions of the cell I have described here. With all this, today I will conclude here. Thank you.